Hey guys, tonight we begin with the utterly reckless, occasionally poetic, and often puke-veered experience of getting wasted in medieval times, when alcohol wasn't just for fun, it was safer than the water, more reliable than a doctor, and, significantly, cheaper than a confession. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here, and let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's joining us from around the world. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Imagine this. The year is 1300, and I'm Elias, a weary wanderer, trudging through the shadowed. In the fields, my back aches like it's carrying the weight of the world, and my throat's so dry it feels like I've swallowed a handful of dust. The air's thick with the scent of damp earth and something fouler, York's river ooze, a sluggish ribbon of water that's less a river and more a graveyard for sewage, rotting fish, and the occasional misfortune of some poor soul who wandered too close. You'd think I'd reach for a cup of water to quench this thirst. But here's the twist. Water in 1300 could kill you faster than a winter plague. One sip from that murky river, and I'd be doubled over in a ditch by midnight, praying for mercy or a quick end. Instead, I do what every man, woman, and child in this gritty medieval world does. I push through the creaking door of the Star in a ramshackle tavern nestled in the heart of Stonegate, where the air hums with laughter, smoke, and the promise of something safer, ale. Welcome to a world where a pint isn't just a drink, it's a lifeline, a ritual, a spark of defiance against a brutal existence. Pull up a bench, dim the lights, and let me take you into a story so wild, so human, you'll be hooked until the final drop. The Star Inn isn't just a bar. Me, like a lover's embrace, smoke from the hearth curling like ghosts, the tang of barley and yeast, the low rumble of voices weaving tales of triumph and trouble. Rough-hewn benches groan under the weight of locals, blacksmiths with hands black as coal, weavers whispering market gossip, a merchant flashing a gold ring that screams he's got more coin than sense. In the corner, a minstrel strums a lute, his notes wobbling like he's already 3 tankards deep. And the crowd doesn't care. They're too busy laughing, arguing, or spilling their drinks. My eyes land on Clara, the alewife, a woman who runs this place like a queen commanding her court, her aprons stained with mash, her dark hair tied back, but her gaze is sharp enough to cut through the chaos. She pours me a tankard, a hefty 16-ounce clay mug, heavy as a brick, and I take a sip. It's murky, grainy, with a sour kick that's more bread than beer, but it's safer than the plague-ridden puddles outside. This is small beer, a low-alcohol brew, maybe 1 to 2%. That's the lifeblood of 13th century York. Kids sip it at breakfast, nuns nurse it in convents, and I'm downing a gallon a day just to stay alive. It's not about getting drunk, it's about not dying. Let that sink in. Water, the stuff we take for granted, was a gamble with death. The river Ouse wasn't just dirty, it was a dumping ground for everything York didn't want. Sewage flowed freely, dead animals bobbed in the current, and if you were really unlucky, you'd hear tales of bodies washing up, bloated and forgotten. Germs were a mystery, but people weren't fools. They'd learned through grim trial and error that a drink from the wrong well could land you in a shallow grave. So they turned to ale's mall beer, brewed from barley, oats, and whatever yeast was floating around. It wasn't fancy. A gallon a day sounds like a lot. 128 ounces, enough to fill a modern pitcher, but it was as essential as air in York's blistering summers, when the sun baked the fields and sweat soaked my tunic. That gallon was a lifeline. It tastes like hope, like defiance against a world that wants to break you. I raise my mug to her, and she smirks, already pouring for the next guy. But the Star Inn is more than a place to drink. It's York's soul laid bare, a stage where life unfolds in all its messy glory. The air's thick with the scent of garlic, sweat, and something faintly like regret, but it's electric. A merchant's haggling over wool prices, his voice rising over the din. A farmer's boasting about a pig that won a fair in Leeds. And two weavers are deep in a debate about whose wife makes better bread. Then there's the storytelling contest, a York tradition that's got the whole place buzzing. It's not just about spinning a yarn, it's a battle, a chance to win a free pint and bragging rights. A lanky cooper named Will stands, his ale sloshing, and launches into a tale about a ghost haunting Clifford's Tower. The crowd's rapt, but a heckler ruddy-faced. Tanner shouts that he's heard it before, and suddenly it's chaos. Mugs clatter, laughter erupts, and Clara's bellowing for everyone to settle down or take it outside. I'm grinning, caught in the whirlwind, because this isn't just a bar fight, it's a celebration of life. Favor hit that subscribe button. It's like tossing a coin to Clara for another round, keeping these stories flowing. Alewives like her were the unsung queens of medieval York, brewing in their kitchens, turning barley into something magical, stirring vats of mash in her Stonegate cottage, her hands calloused from grinding grain. Her ales got to be perfect, too strong, and the town's ale conner, a grumpy official who tests every batch, could fine her. Swagger. She's not just pouring drinks, she's keeping York alive. Her jugs line the counter, each holding a gallon of her latest brew, and she sells them from her window to passersby, or hauls them to the inn herself. Some nights she sets up a tippling house, a tiny stall outside her home where folks grab a quick pint on their way to market. Just surviving. She's thriving in a world that doesn't make it easy. The storytelling contest picks up again, and I'm pulled back into the fray. A weaver named Agnes takes the floor, her voice steady as she spins a tale of a dragon sleeping under York's walls. These contests are new to me, a York quirk that turns drinking into art. The rules are simple. Tell a story, make it good, and the crowd decides if you earn a pint. Agnes wins, her dragon tail outshining Will's ghost, and Clara slides a fresh tankard her way. The room erupts in cheers, and for a moment, we're not peasants or merchants, we're just people. Life in 1300 was no picnic dawn to dusk labor. Plague whispers from London, taxes that could strip you bare. A gallon of ale dulled the edges, made the impossible bearable. Here, social lines blurred. A merchant might share a bench with a shepherd like me, and for a few hours we're equals, arguing over whose horse is faster, or laughing at the minstrel's terrible rhymes. The church wasn't a fan. Preachers thundered about dens of sin, and the city council tried to rein in the chaos with rules about closing times or mug sizes. Good luck with that. Taverns were as vital as the minster itself, places where York's heartbeat thrummed in every spilled drink, every slurred song. I've seen fights break out, one guy dumped ale on another over a bad dice roll. But I've also seen deals sealed. Despair. Drinking wasn't just a habit. It was a culture woven into every layer of York. Peasants like me relied on small beer or weak cider, maybe a gallon a day, sipped from wooden cups or straight from our hands if times were lean. It wasn't about getting wasted, though. On feast days, you'd find someone waking up in a haystack, clutching a stranger's shoe. Clara's ale, thick as porridge, was as much food as drink, a reminder that survival was a daily battle, won with grit and a good brew. I think of modern Barzior, local pub in Chicago, or a cozy spot in Toronto, and see the echo. We still gather, drink, tell stories, chasing that same warmth. But back then, it was raw, more urgent. In with me. The laughter, the stories, Clara's sharp grin, they're a reminder that even in the darkest times, people found light. Out in a place where survival and joy were one and the same. And if you're as captivated by these tales as I am, uncover the past together. The mist clings to the Yorkshire moors like a lover's whisper as Elias trudge through the damp dawn toward Fountains Abbey, its grey stone towers piercing the fog like the bones of some ancient giant. It's 1300, and York's cobbled streets are a fading memory behind me, replaced by the scent of wet grass and the distant bleat of sheep. My boots sink into the earth, each step a reminder of the day's labor already weighing on my shoulders, fields to tend, debts to dodge, and a nagging ache in my bones that no amount of willpower can shake. But today, I'm not headed to the fields. I'm on a pilgrimage of sorts, drawn by whispers of ale so divine it could make a sinner sing psalms. Fountains Abbey, nestled in the hills outside York, isn't just a place of prayer. It's a brewing empire, where monks like Brother Thomas turn barley into liquid miracles. Step into this world with me, where faith meets fermentation, where feasts drown out despair, and where every sip tells a story of survival, defiance, and just a hint of holy mischief. You won't want to miss a drop of this tale. It's a heady brew of chaos and wonder that'll keep you hooked until the final toast. The Abbey's gate looms ahead, its arches carved with saints who seem to watch my every step. I'm nervous, a peasant in a place meant for holier souls. But Brother Thomas greets me with a grin that's more tavern than temple. He's not what I expected, no grim monk cloaked in gloom, but a man with flower-dusted robes and eyes that twinkle like he's privy to God's best secrets. Ale's a gift, he says, leading me to the brewery, a cavernous room where oak vats, each 10 feet wide, bubble with fermenting mash. The air is thick with yeast and promise, and I'm struck by the alchemy of it, all grain, water, and time, transformed into something sacred. These monks aren't just brewing, they're crafting survival. In 1300 ales, not a luxury, it's life itself. Back in York, I down a gallon of small beer daily, a murky 1 to 2% brew that kept the plague-ridden water at bay. But here, Thomas is brewing something stronger, around 4 to 5% alcohol, with a new trick, hops. They add a bitter edge and keep the ale fresh longer, a secret that's spreading across Europe like wildfire. I taste a sample, and it's rich, earthy, with a warmth that spreads through my chest like a prayer answered. What sets these monks apart is their precision. While alewives like Clara in York toss grains into pots and hope for the best, Thomas and his brothers are scientists in robes. They measure barley to the ounce, time fermentation to the hour, and here's something new: infuse their brews with herbs, sage for fevers, chamomile for sleepless nights, even rosemary for courage, Thomas says with a wink. During York's plague scares, when villages emptied and fear hung heavier than the fog, these herbal ales were handed to pilgrims, a liquid shield against death. I'm awed by the care here, the way faith and craft intertwine. The monks brew for charity, for travelers seeking shelter. But let's not kid ourselves. Brother Thomas enjoys his pint between prayers. Fasting bans bread, he chuckles, but ale, that's God's loophole. I laugh, and for a moment I see the human behind the holy, a man finding joy in a world that offers little. This abbey, so still and solemn, is a beacon of innovation, laying the groundwork for beers you'd find in a Seattle microbrewery today. If this glimpse into their world has you thirsty for more, hit that subscribe button. It's like raising a mug to keep these stories flowing. But the real revelry waits back in York, at Clifford's Tower, where the nobility throw feasts that make the Star Inn's chaos look like a church picnic. I'm invited. Don't ask how a peasant like me got in. Let's just say I know a guy who knows a guy. The hall's ablaze of torchlight, tables sagging under roast boar, venison, and trenchers settable bread plates. At the center is Lady Beatrice, a noblewoman with a laugh that rings like church bells and a silver goblet, 12 ounces heavy, that never runs dry. She's a force, out drinking knights twice her size, her wit sharper than their swords. These feasts are marathons, stretching 6 to 8 hours, with wine flowing like the ooze itself, 1 to 2 gallons per guest, spiced with cinnamon and cloves, imported from Bordeaux to flaunt wealth. Every toast is a performance, a long-winded ode to the king or some long-dead hero, and Beatrice's are the best, weaving poetry with just enough sass to make the room roar. What catches me off guard is the dancing, a York tradition I hadn't seen before. After the third round, Beatrice leaps up, her velvet gown swirling, and leads a feast dance. It's a wild, stomping affair where guests spin and leap to earn their next drink. I join in, my clumsy feet tripping over a squire's, and the hall erupts in laughter. A knight stumbles into a table, trenchers fly, and Beatrice, unfazed, keeps dancing, her goblet raised like a battle standard. I'm breathless, not just from the steps, but from the energy. This isn't just a party, it's a rebellion against the grim world outside. Plague rumors swirl, taxes crush, yet here we are, dancing, drinking, alive. Beatrice, I learn, isn't just a reveler. She's the mastermind, choosing menus, music, even the order of toasts to keep the nobles happy. It's power disguised as play, and I'm in awe. She's not just surviving this world, she's shaping it, one dance at a time. The contrast between York's classes hits me like a cold wind. In taverns, peasants like me sip weak cider, another gallon a day, poured into wooden cups, or if times are tough, our calloused hands. It's not about getting drunk, it's about calories, about staying upright when crops fail or winters bite. At Clifford's Tower, it's all excess wine in goblets that could double as helmets, each sip a flex of status. Yet the hearts, The same, whether it's Clara's alehouse or Beatrice's feast. These moments are about stealing joy from a world that's stingy with it. The monks at Fountains Abbey, brewing with sage and faith, are no different. They're finding light in the dark, just like us. I think of modern bars, from cozy London pubs to Vancouver dive bars, where we still chase that spark. Back then, it was raw, more desperate, but no less human. As I leave the tower, the night air sharp against my skin, I carry the warmth of the feast with me. Beatrice's laugh, Thomas's sly grin, the rhythm of those vats there, a reminder that even in 1300 people found ways to thrive. Ale wasn't just a drink, it was defiance, community, a way to say, we're here and we're alive. This world, so distant, feels close. Every sip, every dance, every story, a thread tying us to them. And there's more to come, love. Spells whispered under starlit skies, games that shook empires, and a city of bones beneath Paris. Keep listening, because this tale's just begun, and it's going to pull you in deeper than you ever expected. The air is thick with the scent of olives and dust as I, Elias, stand in the heart of Athens' Agora. 4th century BCE, the Acropolis looming above like a silent god, watching my every move. It's dusk, and the market's chaos swirls around. Me merchants, hawking figs, philosophers arguing in the shade, and a low hum of voices that feels like the pulse of the city itself. My heart's racing, not from the heat or the crowd, but from the secret I'm about to witness. A woman named Sophia, her hands trembling yet steady, kneels by a well in Syntagma Square, clutching a lead tablet etched with words I can't read, but feel heavy with intent. She's casting a love spell, an Agoge charm, whispering to the underworld to bind a man's heart to hers. He'll crawl to me, she murmurs, her eyes glinting with a fire that's half desperation, half defiance. This isn't romance, it's a battle, a dance with forces darker than the night sky above. Step into this ancient world with me, where love is a weapon, magic is real, and every whispered spell pulls you deeper into a story so wild, so haunting, you'll be hooked until the final word. Sophia's tablet, cold and heavy as a curse, is meant for the underworld. Her spell isn't about flowers or soft words. It's about power, about bending fate in a world where women's voices are often silenced. She buries the tablet in the well, a gateway to spirits who'll carry her words to the gods or something. It's a force to be conjured, a fire to be stoked. As the moon rises, Sophia leads me to a grove of olive trees, a sacred spot where she chants to Aphrodite, her voice weaving through the branches like a spell itself. This moonlight ritual, new to me, is a secret kept by women like her, a way to seal their magic under the stars. The air feels charged, and I'm caught between awe and unease. Love here is beautiful, but it's also dangerous, a game where hearts are pawns and gods are referees. If this glimpse into Athens' hidden magic has you spellbound, hit that subscribe button. It's like tossing a coin into Sophia's well, keeping these ancient stories alive. Join me, and let's unravel more mysteries together. I'm still reeling from Sophia's ritual when I find myself in Rome, 1st century CE, standing in the chaotic forum, where the Colosseum's shadow looms like a warning. The city's a riot of noise vendors, shouting, senators debating, and the clink of goblets as wine flows like water. I meet Marcus, a merchant, with a sly grin and a plan to win a senator's daughter. He's mixing Venus wine, a potent brew, of mint, vervain, and a whisper of belladonna poured into an 8-ounce goblet that gleams in the torchlight. "One sip," he says, "and her heart's mine." I'm skeptical, but intrigued. This isn't just a drink. It's a love spell, a liquid charm to tilt fate in his favor. Marcus shows me his secret weapon, a leather bracelet strung with tiny bronze hearts, worn to bind his spell. It's a Roman twist, a talisman to carry Aphrodite's Roman sister, Venus, into his lover's dreams. I learn of festivals here, new to me, where lovers gather under the Colosseum's arches, exchanging enchanted oils to music and torchlight. Marcus laughs it off, but I feel the weight of meddling with hearts, the thin line between desire and destruction. Rome's love magic is less mystical than Athens, more theatrical, like the city itself. Marcus tells me of women anointing themselves with perfumed oils, vermilion, myrrh, even dangerous belladonna to seduce or subdue. I imagine a courtesan slipping Venus wine to a noble, her smile hiding a spell that could spark love or ruin. The forum buzzes with these secrets, whispered in alleys and woven into the fabric of daily life. A woman might wear a charm bracelet, its beads clicking as she moves, each one a prayer for love or revenge. I'm drawn to the drama, the way Romans turn passion into performance. But I'm uneasy to love here feels like a game of power, where the winner takes all and the loser might lose everything. Yet there's something human in it, a longing I recognize. Don't we, in our modern world, chase that same spark on dating apps, swiping through profiles like Marcus mixes his wine, hoping for a connection that feels like magic? The years slip away, and I'm in ancient Cairo, near the pyramids of Giza, where the Nile glints like a promise under the sun. I meet Nefertari, a priestess in a temple dedicated to Hathor, goddess of love and desire. Her presence is calm, her voice soft, but there's steel beneath it. She anoints the scroll with 2 to 3 ounces of lotus oil, its scent sweet and heavy, meant to summon her beloved in his sleep. He'll see me in his dreams, she says, her eyes fixed on the horizon like the desert longs for rain. I'm captivated. This isn't just magic, it's poetry, a sacred act tying love to the divine. Nefertari tells me of festivals, a new tradition where crowds gather to sing hymns, their voices rising as priestesses weave spells with music and dance. It's a communal rite, unlike the solitary chants of Athens, and it feels alive, like Cairo. She shows me a necklace, beads carved with birds, worn to bind hearts across distances. Some spells use honey, wine, even a drop of blood, menstrual or otherwise, to tie souls together. I'm startled by the intensity, the way love here dances with danger. Scorpion venom, she says, can be added for revenge, a curse to burn a rival's heart. I think of modern cocktails, the way we mix drinks to impress or seduce, and see the Icoar rituals are tamer, but the hunger's the same. Music filling the air as lovers exchange charms under the stars. It's less about control than connection, a belief that love is a divine force, not just a human one. Yet the ingredients blood, venom, lotus remind me how close passion teeters to peril, how love can be both balm and blade, across Athens, Rome, and Cairo. I see the same thread, love as a force to be shaped, conjured, fought for. Sophia's tablets, Marcus's wine, Nefertari's, papyrus, they're all cries to be seen, to matter. In Athens, it's raw, desperate, a plea to the underworld. In Rome, it's a performance, all flair and danger. In Cairo, it's sacred, woven with faith and song. Each spell, each charm is a gamble, a hope that love can be tamed. I'm awed by their courage, chilled by the risks. These aren't just stories, they're mirrors, reflecting our own chase for connection. Whether through apps, texts, or late-night talks, I think of the bracelets, the oils, the hymns, and feel a pang of recognition. We're not so different, are we? We still cast spells in our own way, hoping to capture a heart or hold onto one as I stand in Cairo's temple. The Nile shimmering in the distance. I'm struck by the weight of these ancient desires. Love, in all its messy glory, has always driven us to the edge of reason, of faith, of ourselves. Sophia, Marcus, Nefertari, they're not just figures from the past. They're us, reaching across centuries to say, I want to be loved. This tale's just the beginning. There's more to come. Gladiators clashing in Rome, games shaking the jungles of Chichen Itza, and a city of bones beneath Paris, whispering secrets you won't believe. Keep listening, because this story's about to pull you deeper into a world where magic, passion, and defiance collide, and you won't want to miss a single moment. The sun beats down on the dusty plains of Olympia, Greece, 776 BCE, and I, Elias, stand among a roaring crowd, my heart pounding as if I'm the one about to run. The air's thick with sweat and anticipation, the Acropolis a distant memory as I'm swept into the raw, pulsing energy of the Olympic Games before me. Nikos, a lean runner with eyes like fire, strips bare, his skin gleaming under the relentless sun. No robes, no armor, just him, the track, and the gods watching from above. This isn't just a race, it's a sacred dance, a defiance of human limits offered up to Zeus himself. The crowd's cheers shake the earth, but there's a deeper current. Here, a whisper of something ancient, something that binds glory to grit. From here, I'll chase stories across empires, Rome's blood-soaked arenas, Chichen Itza's cosmic courts, and York's quiet, candlelit nights where sleep weaves its own magic. Step into this world with me, where bodies and dreams collide, where every leap, every tale pulls you deeper into a past so vivid, so human, you'll be hooked until the final breath. Nikos stands at the starting line, a 200-yard stretch of packed earth, his muscles taut, his breath steady. I'm close enough to see the focus in his eyes, but I learn something new. Before he runs, he kneels under a sacred oak, meditating for clarity. The Olympic Games aren't just sport. They're worship, a vow to push the body beyond mortal bounds. Nikos swears an oath to Zeus, promising a year of training, grueling runs, endless drills, and no cheating. Break that vow, and he risks a public flogging or disgrace. The crowd hushes as he sprints, feet pounding, dust flying, and when he crosses the finish line first, an olive crown is placed on his head. It's simple, just woven leaves, but it's everything back in Athens. He'll be a hero, fed for life, his name carved into olive wood by fan clubs. A new tradition I hadn't expected. I'm electrified, not just by his speed, but by the weight of it. All this isn't just a race. It's a bid for immortality, a moment where a man becomes a myth. If this glimpse of ancient glory has your pulse racing, hit that subscribe button. It's like cheering for Nikos, keeping these stories alive. Join me, and let's dive deeper into a world of blood, sweat, and dreams. Centuries later, scent of iron and earth. The arena's a beast, 50,000 strong. Their cheers, a tidal wave, as Flavia, a rare gladiatrix, steps into the sand. I'm stunned by her courage, a slave defying a world that chains her. Gladiators like Flavia are stars, their names scrawled on tavern walls by fan clubs. A Roman version of fandom I hadn't imagined. Stakes are brutal. She dances around her opponent, net flashing, and when she pins him, the crowd erupts. I feel their bloodlust, their awe, and something deeper, admiration for Flavia's defiance. This isn't just sport, it's theater, a spectacle of life and death bankrolled by emperors to keep Rome's masses cheering. I'm caught in the thrill, but there's a pang. Flavia's freedom is a distant dream, her victories bought with blood. Across the ocean, I'm in Chichen Itza, 900 CE, where the sun scorches the stone court of the Mesoamerican ball game. Xochitl, a young warrior, moves like lightning, her hips striking a 9-pound rubber ball toward a stone ring 10 feet high. Scoring is rare, almost miraculous, and the crowd treats it as divine. I learned something new. These games settle village disputes, binding communities without bloodshed. The courts, carvings gods, warriors make it a temple, and every thud of the ball feels like a heartbeat of the cosmos. Xochitl's team wins, and the crowd chants her name. But there's a shadow. Some games end in sacrifice, winners or losers offered to the gods. I'm awed by the stakes. The way sport here is life, death, and faith entwined. It's not just a game, it's a story of survival, a ritual that holds a people together. I feel the weight of it, the way Xochitl's sweat and skill carry her. Village's hopes, and I'm moved by the unity it forges. Back in York, 1300, I find myself in a different kind of ritual, one quieter but no less profound. It's night, and I'm in a peasant's cottage, the straw mattress creaking under a family of 5. The air's thick with the scent of tallow candles and damp wool, and I'm struck by the intimacy of this moment. Medieval sleep, I learn, is biphasic, 4 hours after dusk, a 1 to 2 hour break, then 4 more hours before dawn. That break, called the watch, is new to me. Families pray, talk, or tell stories, their voices soft in the flickering light. I hear a mother, Agnes, weave a tale of a knight slaying a dragon, her words lulling her children to sleep. It's a tradition I hadn't known, a bedtime storytelling that binds families, calms fears. Some hang dreamcatchers, inspired by Canadian Ojibwe designs, 6 to 8 inches wide, their webs catching bad spirits. Lying on that straw, I feel a warmth, a connection across centuries. Sleep here isn't just rest. It's a sanctuary, a shared act of love and hope. These moments, Neko's sprint, Flavia's fight, Xochitl's game, Agnes' story, show me humanity's drive to transcend. In Olympia, it's glory. In Rome, survival. In Chichen Itza, unity. In York, intimacy. Each is a defiance of a harsh world, a way to carve meaning from chaos. I think of modern stadiums cheering for a touchdown in Chicago or a goal in London and see the echo. We still chase that rush, that connection, whether through sports or the quiet rituals of sleep. Nico's crown, Flavia's net, Xochitl ball, Agnes' dream catcher. They're not just relics. They're us, pushing against the dark, reaching for something eternal. But this is just the beginning. Ahead lie secrets buried beneath Paris, spells whispered under starlit skies, and tales of revelry that'll make your heart race. Keep listening, because this story's about to pull you into a world where every moment pulses with life, and you won't want to miss a single beat. I'm Elias, a wanderer with a heart for stories, and my journey begins in the gritty, vibrant streets of 13th century York, England, where the air is thick with the scent of mud and survival. It's 1300, and I'm bone-tired from a day in the fields, my throat parched but wary of the river Uza, murky stew of sewage and secrets that could kill with a single sip. Water here is a gamble, so I head to the Star in a ramshackle tavern on Stonegate, where ale isn't just a drink, it's a lifeline. Inside, the warmth of smoke and laughter wraps around me like a cloak. Clara, the alewife, rules with a sharp tongue and a sharper brew, pouring 16-ounce tankards of small beer, 1 to 2% alcohol, a gallon a day, for everyone from kids to nuns. It's not about getting drunk. It's about staying alive, each sip a defiance. Against the plague-ridden puddles outside the inns, alive with chaos, blacksmiths arguing, weavers gossiping, and a storytelling contest where a cooper named Will spins a tale of ghosts in Clifford's Tower, only to be heckled into a brawl. I'm swept up in the energy, the way this tavern blurs class lines, letting peasants like me share benches with merchants. It's messy, glorious, a pressure valve for a brutal world of labor and taxes. Here, I learned that ale, brewed by women, like Clara, is more than a drink. It's community, resilience, a spark of joy stolen from hardship. Days later, I trek to Fountains Abbey, its stone arches rising from the misty moors like a prayer. Brother Thomas, a monk with a twinkle in his eye, shows me their brewing vats 10 feet wide, bubbling with ale stronger than Clara's. About 4 to 5% alcohol, laced with hops and herbs, like sage for plague season pilgrims. These monks aren't just holy, they're innovators. They're brews, the ancestors of modern craft beer. I sip their sage-infused ale, earthy and warm, and feel the weight of their craft faith and science in every gulp. Back in York, I'm invited to a feast at Clifford's Tower, where Lady Beatrice, a noblewoman with a silver goblet and a laugh like bells, outdrinks knights over 6 to 8 hour marathons. Wine flows 1 to 2 gallons per guest, spiced and imported to flaunt wealth, and Beatrice leads a feast dance, a wild stomp where guests earn drinks with spins and leaps. I join, clumsy but thrilled, as trenchers fly and laughter shakes the hall. Beatrice isn't just a reveler, she's a strategist, orchestrating these nights to keep nobles loyal. The contrast stings. Peasants sip weak cider from wooden cups, while nobles drown in wine, but the spirit's the same, chasing light in a dark world. I leave the tower awed by their resilience, seeing echoes of modern bars where we gather to escape. Time shifts, and I'm in Athens, 4th century BCE, in the bustling agora, under the Acropolis's gaze. Sophia, a woman with charcoal-stained hands, kneels by a well in Syntagma Square, burying a lead tablet etched with an agoge spell to make a man love her. Her chants under olive trees, a moonlight ritual to Aphrodite, are raw, desperate a bid for power in a world that silences women. I'm torn between awe and unease. These spells, laced with mandrake or vervain bracelets, are as much control as love. In Rome's Forum, 1st century CE, Marcus mixes Venus wine 8 ounces of herbs, and Belladonna to woo a senator's daughter, his bronze heart bracelet sealing the charm. Festivals under the Colosseum, where lovers exchange enchanted oils, feel theatrical, but darksome spells curse rivals to loneliness. In Cairo, near the pyramids of Giza, Nefertari, a priestess, crafts dream spells with red ink papyrus and 2 to 3 ounces of lotus oil. Her hymns rising at communal festivals where music weaves magic. Her bird-carved necklaces bind hearts, but ingredients like scorpion venom hint at love's danger. Across these cities, I see love as a battlefield, a universal hunger to be seen, not unlike our modern swipes on dating apps. Centuries later, I'm in Olympia, 776 BCE, watching Nikos sprint 200 yards, naked, under Zeus's gaze. His meditation under a sacred oak and olive-crown victory make him a hero, his name carved by fan clubs. In Rome's Colosseum, Flavia, a gladiatrix, wields a net in front of 50,000. Her fights a spectacle of courage, her fame etched in tavern graffiti. In Chichen Itza, 900 CE, Xochitl plays ulema, striking a 9-pound ball through a 10-foot-high ring, a game that unites villages and echoes cosmic battles. Some matches end in sacrifice, and I'm awed by the stake sport as faith, life, death. Back in York, 1300, I lie on a straw mattress, learning of biphasic sleep for hours. A 1 to 2 hour watch for stories, then for more hours. Agnes, a mother, tells nightly tales to lull her kids. Dreamcatchers, 6 to 8 inches, inspired by Ojibwe designs guarding their sleep. These rituals, races, fights, games, stories show humanity's drive to transcend, to find meaning in chaos. Finally, I descend into Paris's catacombs, a 200-mile labyrinth beneath Montmartre, holding 6 million bones from cemeteries like Montparnasse. Workers' nighttime chants honored the dead as they stacked skulls into hearts and crosses 3 feet wide. Lucy, a cataphile, guides me through forbidden tunnels under Lamar, showing bone-inspired murals and World War II resistance graffiti near Notre Dame. The catacombs are Paris's shadow, a reminder of mortality's weight, yet alive with art and defiance. From York's taverns to Cairo's temples, I see resilience, creativity, a thread tying past to present. We chase joy, love, glory, just as they did. Whether through apps or late-night talks, the lesson from my journey is this: humanity thrives by finding light in the darkest moments, weaving joy, connection, and meaning from the raw materials of hardship. In York, Clara's ale and Beatrice's feasts turned brutal days into moments of laughter. Sophia, Marcus, and Nefertari bent fate with spells, chasing love's spark. Nikos, Flavia, and Xochitl pushed their bodies to transcend, while Agnes's stories and Dreamcatchers made sleep a sanctuary. The catacombs, with their silent bones and hidden art, show even death can't stifle creativity. This resilience isn't just history, it's a blueprint for today. In our world of stress, screens, and endless tutos, we can find light, too. Share a drink with friends, like Clara's tavern goers. Tell stories to connect, like Agnes. Or create something beautiful, like Lucy's murals. When life feels heavy, pause. Find one small joyous song, a walk, a moment of stillness, and let it anchor you. History teaches us that survival isn't just enduring, it's celebrating, connecting, defying the dark with every heartbeat. What do you think, dear reader? Which part of this journey hit you hardest? Clara's gritty tavern, Nefertari's sacred spells, or the eerie catacombs? Have you found your own ways to spark joy in tough times? Maybe a late-night chat or a creative project. Share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear how you see these stories reflecting your life. Your comments weave a new kind of tavern, a place where we all share stories and ideas. And if this journey through time has sparked something in you, hit that subscribe button. It's like raising a tankard to keep these tales flowing, inspiring more adventures into the past. Join me, and let's uncover more stories that remind us how to live, love, and thrive.